raising concerns about what counts as proof of citizenship. And the water is back on, but the problems persist. Hear from the people of Holly Springs who are sick of it. It's 6 o'clock and ABC24 News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us on ABC24 for your news at 6. I'm Shakina Davis. Now to our top story. It is the first day of what's expected to be a busy holiday travel period for Memphis International. Between now and Monday, January 5th, 127,000 people are expected to pass through terminals and checkpoints. All the extra crowds could lead to chaos if you're not prepared. Our Ezekiel Telemaco joins us now to break down what you need to know before you head to the airport.
It's holiday travel season at the Memphis International Airport. The airport expects about 127,000 passengers to pass through security checkpoints between December 19th and January 5th. The busiest day is expected to be Sunday, December 21st, with more than 9,300 travelers moving through TSA checkpoints. One Memphian headed to Las Vegas says even when you do everything right, delays can still happen.
I actually packed a week prior before the trip. My daughter, she plays basketball, and now that we here, our plane is delayed. So you do have those unexpected things that do occur even when you on time and ready to go. It's other things that do happen in between time. But at least you're ready whenever it's time to go.
Airport officials are urging passengers to arrive at least 2 hours before their flight, especially for early morning departures between 4 to 7 a.m. If you're concerned about unpacking your carry-on at the security line, don't worry. The TSA says new CT scanners at the Memphis International Airport will allow for passengers to keep laptops and liquids in their bags, but all carry-on items must fit inside security bins and oversized bags will have to be checked. Parking may also be a challenge. Airport leaders say that parking lots could reach capacity during peak days, and drivers should expect to follow additional signs and staff direction. Ongoing terminal construction is also impacting traffic flow, rideshare pickup locations, and pedestrian access between terminals.
And this will be the first Christmas travel period since the Real ID became mandatory for domestic passengers. Anyone who does not have the new compliant IDs can still travel, but they will have to go through extra steps at security. The Transportation Security Administration just recommends you give yourself even more time before takeoff. Starting February 1st, anyone without the new IDs can pay extra to speed up the process. $45 will allow you to use the TSA Confirm ID system to verify your identity for a 10 travel period. And with holiday travel picking up across the Mid-South, new concerns are surfacing about how federal immigration agents are handling identification. A recent U.S. Senate report shows cases nationwide where U.S. citizens were stopped or detained by ICE or Homeland Security investigations, even after presenting a real ID. The report says some citizens were held for hours while agents worked to confirm their status, and in some cases refusing to accept real IDs as proof of citizenship. Several were only released after fingerprinting verified their identity. Civil rights groups warn these encounters can impact communities of color and create fear among travelers who believe they're complying with real federal ID requirements. Federal officials say enforcement actions are lawful, but lawmakers are now questioning oversight and accountability. And as millions traveled through airports and highways this holiday season, including here in the Mid-South, legal experts recommend carrying additional documentation like a passport and knowing your rights if questioned.
It's been a nice warm day with lots of sunshine, but those clouds have been rolling in, still at least enjoying this warmth, hopefully to wrap up your Saturday. Now those clouds are rolling in for your overnight along with some showers. So I want to stress that some more scattered rain at times, becoming spottier. Notice as we get closer by the early morning hours, it's still pretty cloudy. Temperatures are milder though. It's kind of like a blanket tucking us in there as those clouds roll into our area. Now the key here is behind the cloud cover. Sunshine will return for your Sunday, but it's going to be a cooler breeze flowing out of the northeast, gusts around 20 miles per hour for your Sunday morning. You'll notice that feel. At least it's going to look pretty good, but definitely a cool breeze for your Sunday. We'll back that off closer to the mid-teens as we get into the afternoon. Sunny, cool breeze for the second half of your Sunday. Temperatures are still mild, but I'm telling you, there's still this good warming trend that we're also looking at coming up in that full forecast here in just a few minutes.
This evening, neighbors in West Tennessee are calling out Ford Motor Company, not just for broken promises, but also for doing the opposite of what they said they would do. And what was once hailed as a new era of electric vehicle production, Blue Oval City is now being renamed as Tennessee Truck Plant and is slated to now produce gas-powered trucks. West Tennessee for the People says Ford pushed back its timeline twice and backed away from commitments they say would protect local workers, housing, and the environment. The group says residents have spent years showing up to town halls and asking Ford to sign a legally binding agreement to guarantee those investments, but say Ford repeatedly turned them down. Ford hasn't responded to the new claims. The group says it'll keep pushing for clearer commitments as the project moves forward. Arkansas leaders say the state needs stronger, more reliable power as new jobs and industries move in. Today at the Capitol, they rolled out a plan they say will help the grid keep up the demand. Entergy calls it Next Generation Arkansas. The plan focuses on stronger power bandwidth, job growth, and keeping bills affordable. Entergy says extreme weather like tornadoes, winter storms, even wildfires is putting more strain on the system. The company plans to invest more than $13 billion and help create over 7,500 jobs. New tonight, water has been restored to dozens of Holly Springs residents after the city's utility company temporarily shut down service Friday. While city leaders tell ABC24 crews move quickly to fix the problem, some residents tell ABC24's Desmond Nugent these issues are becoming more routine, adding this week's main break creates more frustration.
It wasn't the sight longtime Holly Springs resident R.C. Anderson expected to see. Water along his street and services temporarily shut off.
We don't know how to feel about it, just trying to, they say being old folk, we just try to make the best of it that we can.
Anderson has lived in his home for 43 years and understands the city's pipes are old. The 87-year-old says these ongoing issues are becoming harder to accept.
Bad, devastating, destroyed our lives almost, because we've been depending on medication, things like that. So we needed to drink water. So we've been buying water for 6 months now.
The Holly Springs Utility Department says crews were patching a 6-inch water main break, a situation that impacted more than 30 homes. For Anderson, he's paying twice for this inconvenience.
Paying for water twice, we had to pay for water to come through our line, then pay for bring water in our house to drink.
Holly Springs Mayor Charles Terry acknowledges the frustration. He told me the break was caused by a deteriorated line and admits the city has long-standing infrastructure challenges.
I have had some complaints about the water. I don't know about the taste. I may have said something about discoloration of it in some areas, but of course that comes anywhere that you're going to have the lead pipes that need replacing, and that's one of the projects that we're going to be working on to replace and make sure that we've got new pipes.
Terry says crews were also addressing a power outage. He's confident that issue will be resolved. As far as the constant water concerns, they are pursuing state funding.
I think that working together, we are accomplishing the things that we have to in order to keep the city running as it should and as efficient as it should. We're doing whatever's necessary for any individual situation that we face.
Residents such as Anderson told me they're hoping to see some long-term relief instead of short-term solutions. In Holly Springs, I'm Desmond Nugent, ABC24 News.
Coming up, the U.S. military is ramping up aggressive action in the Caribbean. Learn why this may signal a new war on the horizon. Oh, okay. I was President Trump has been building up military forces in the Caribbean, sending thousands of troops to the region, along with an aircraft carrier, warships, and fighter jets to the coast of Venezuela, home of the world's largest oil reserves. U.S. forces have seized another oil tanker.
Tonight, sources say the U.S. Coast Guard is interdicting another sanctioned vessel in international waters off Venezuela. The operation carried out by the same type of elite tactical operations team that boarded an oil tanker 10 days ago. President Trump has ordered what he calls a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. At least 15 sanctioned tankers full of oil are floating off Venezuela and could be targeted if they enter international waters, experts say. A move that would choke Venezuela's oil exports, the lifeblood of President Maduro's regime, which President Trump is calling a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro calling the U.S. actions criminal piracy, and Maduro ally Russia saying the U.S. is now threatening international shipping in the Caribbean.
We've always expected them to provide rhetorical support for the Maduro regime.
This week, House Republicans rejected resolutions that would have forced the Trump administration to seek authorization from Congress if military action moved to Venezuelan soil.
Mr. President, will you be seeking any authorization from Congress for any land attacks on cartels in Venezuela?
For anyone?
For any land attacks on drug cartels in Venezuela?
I wouldn't mind telling them, but it's not a big deal. I don't have to tell them; it's been proven. But I wouldn't mind at all.
The U.S. military has now also conducted 28 strikes on alleged drug boats, killing more than 100 people. But the administration has yet to provide any public evidence of drug smuggling. Selena Wang, ABC News, traveling with the president, Palm Beach County, Florida.
All right, so let's talk about that warming trend. This is really how far above average we're talking as we look ahead on throughout Christmas week. Look at this, 25 degrees above average. So this warming trend really is the dominant story. For now, we actually have a cold front coming through. Now it's mainly clouds and a few showers, so notice a couple kind of trickling across the area to start the overnight. Not a very strong system here, pretty brief too. Mostly clouds. Behind it though, it's this shift to the cooler northeasterly flow as we get into the daytime hours and that sunshine returns. Now we'll start warming back up, but we're still stirring around some view changes to start the week. Some extra clouds coming by on Monday. Notice a couple of showers try to lift up across the area, but it does stay pretty spotty. So nothing to cancel plans over. Again, this is part of lifting up some warmer air. It does come with clouds and spotty showers at times to start the week as well. So the warm story is definitely the dominant part of this forecast, but it does come with those clouds and showers starting tonight. As we do start the night again with those showers, the cloud cover limits the cooling. So notice we range from the upper 30s to low to mid 40s. So we got to shift to that cooler air, cooler relative to recently, and the warming trend ahead. Still above average temperatures for your Sunday, and rainfall itself is pretty light. We're kind of at the bottom of the spectrum here. Some of those light to moderate showers coming through. And then again, spotty into the early part of the week. Notice some ups and downs, pretty limited, stray to spotty rain chances is the story looking ahead. So for your Sunday, you want to get back out in the sunshine, still about 5 degrees above average, warming from those low 40s. Again, clouds slow down the cooling, sunshine returns, cool breeze, still gusting to around 20 miles per hour, and turning that temperature up to the upper 50s for your Sunday. So that's where that sunshine definitely helps, despite the cool breeze blowing across town for you for your Sunday. So when we look ahead to the week, that warming trend, something you might want to definitely take note of, make your plans around. Again, notice some clouds in and out. Obviously, sunshine always makes it feel warmer, but we're still going to have more time with that sunshine when we look midweek. Notice Christmas Eve, for example. We build up upper 60s Tuesday, low 70s Wednesday, and low 70s on Christmas Day. The clouds are in and out, especially to start the week. Again, we have a couple of showers coming through at times. We end the week still with that ebb and flow in clouds, but still well above average. Again, low 50s, the average high for this time of year for Memphis. So even the cooler day on Sunday with that sunshine and those chilly winds is still above average. And then we really build that up with more 60s to low 70s as we look ahead to your new week around Christmas.
Today, Memphians at the Hospitality Hub got a chance to spread the warmth. It all started with a trip to a thrift store last year where organizers bought 20 coats to give out to people who needed them. And fast forward to today, hundreds of donations poured in. Brand new coats and hand warmers for whoever needs it. Organizers believe days like today show just how love Memphis has and can give out. And the first annual Wheels and Beats Youth Skate Jam happened today in Hickory Hill. Organizers gave out almost 100 skateboards, helmets, knee and elbow pads, all to local kids interested in learning about skating or improving how they already skate. The event was a collaborative effort brought together by County Commissioner Erica Sugarman of District 12 and the skating nonprofit Later Skater, as well as the nonprofit Heal the Hood and others. And coming up, we'll have more in the show.